Have you ever wondered what the real difference is between that fiery, all-consuming passion you feel at the beginning and a love that's actually built to last? It's one of the biggest questions we ask ourselves. And today, we're going to investigate it. Let's see if we can find out where that line is drawn.
You've heard this before, right? Maybe you've even felt it yourself. It's that huge, overwhelming feeling that you have finally found the one. It's a connection that feels so deep, so profound, it just seems totally unique in the world. It's a powerful feeling.
And right there, that's the central question of our whole investigation today. How can you really tell the difference? What's the thing that separates that intense, but maybe fleeting passion from a love that's actually got what it takes to go the distance? Well, let's look at the evidence.
Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. You are doing important work.
Okay, our first clue, it's probably the simplest one, but it's also the most critical. And that clue is time itself. It turns out there's a pretty specific window where what you're feeling is much more likely to be infatuation.
Yeah, that's right. Many experts suggest that if a relationship is under 2 or 3 years old, it's very, very likely still in the infatuation phase. Now, that doesn't mean the feelings aren't real or genuine. Of course they are. But it means they haven't really been tested yet. They haven't faced the trials that forge that deep, enduring love. You can kind of think of it as the extended honeymoon period.
So, what is infatuation, anyway? Well, the key phrase in this definition is right here: sustained by an idealized image. Infatuation thrives on a perfect, almost fictional version of a person. And that perfect version can really only exist when messy reality doesn't get in the way. So how does this perfect illusion get built? To figure that out, we've got to examine the environment, the specific conditions that let that idealized image feel so incredibly real and so powerful. Typically, you've got 3 main pillars holding up this illusion. First up is distance. If you're not living together, you just don't see the messy, day-to-day parts of life. Then you have emotional novelty. Everything is new, it's exciting, so of course passion is running high. And third, a lack of shared obligations. Without things like shared bills or chores, you get to neatly sidestep some of the most common sources of real-world conflict in a relationship. And this just nails the point perfectly. I mean, think about it. When you only see someone for dates or for special occasions, you're both putting on your best face. You're showing the absolute best version of yourselves. You don't get to see how they handle a crazy, stressful day at work, or a sick parent, or just the quiet, maybe even boring reality of a Tuesday night. You're seeing the highlight reel, not the full movie. Okay, now let's go a layer deeper. Sometimes, what feels like this incredibly intense love can actually be tangled up with something else entirely. And that thing is dependence. It's really worth asking, what's truly motivating these powerful feelings? Let's look at some examples. That feeling of, she needs my support. Could that actually be a sign of emotional dependence? The idea that she feels safe with me might be more about financial security. And that really powerful thought, she fears being alone, is it possible that's also a reflection of your own fear? Now, this isn't about blame at all. It's just about understanding that our own deep-seated needs can sometimes disguise themselves as romantic love. The need to be a savior, the need for security, the fear of being alone, these are incredibly powerful forces that can create a bond that feels just like love, but it might be built on something a little more fragile.
And this brings us to the most crucial piece of our investigation, the missing evidence. Because in most new, passionate relationships, the single most important factor for telling if it's true love, well, it's usually completely absent.
So here's the bottom line. Passion is easy, but resilience is hard. A connection that hasn't been tested by the boring stuff, the difficult stuff, and the stressful stuff of life, it just hasn't proven itself yet. The truth is, true bonds aren't just found. They are forged in the fire of real-world challenges.
Here's a fascinating and kind of wild real-world example. During the pandemic, divorce lawyers saw a huge spike in calls from long-term married couples who were suddenly forced into 24/7 close quarters. So why did that happen? Because even after decades together, the intense shared pressure of a global crisis became a real-life test, and it revealed sides of their partners they had never been forced to see before.
So what is the true test of love then? It really seems to come down to these 3 key areas. First, just navigating the daily routine. Can you handle the chores, the errands, and the simple boredom of life together? Second, financial stress. When money gets tight, do you work like a team, or does it pull you apart? And finally, facing real hardship. When a crisis hits, do you lean on each other for support, or do you start to fracture? This is where love is truly proven. So,
As we start to wrap up our investigation, the verdict becomes pretty clear. There are no shortcuts. There are no simple answers when you're talking about the heart. The truth isn't found in one single moment of passion.
Ultimately, this is the core takeaway. The difference between that all-consuming infatuation and a deep, lasting love, it's experience. It's the shared history you build by facing life's ups and its downs side by side over a long, long period of time. And so we end with a question for you to think about. Take a look at the foundation of a connection. Is it built on the thrilling but maybe unstable ground of idealism and novelty? Or is it being built day by day on the solid bedrock of shared reality, ready to weather any storm that comes its way? Only time and a real willingness to face life together will tell the true story.
Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you want to overcome betrayal, break toxic cycles, take control of your relationship choices, read How to Deal with a Love Triangle. The link is below the video.